Hello everyone, this is Tyrone from Bifrost. Today, this is Bifrost SLPX launch conference, so we will talk about what is Omni-chain liquid staking stack. So what is Bifrost SLPX? That's the question you might want to know deeply about it. And I will introduce you the logic behind the SLPX. So I would like to start with some background of this. The background of liquid staking is that rising of this year, and why Bifrost is unique to encounter the challenges of liquid staking, and how we leverage the XCM to implicate Bifrost liquid staking in the ecosystem, and what is Bifrost SLPX, how it works. From the background, if we take the time back to the January of this year, we might think the DEX TVL was always leading the way until the mid of March. After the Shapira upgrade, there was the touch point between liquid staking and DEX's TVL. So, which is the timeline that liquid staking became the first place in the TVL of DeFi. After that, liquid staking rise beyond DEX's in this year, and after May of this year. For sure, there's liquid staking applications were growing this year, especially it dramatically growed in the mid of May, which is also the timeline that Lido or Rocketpool and other protocols of liquid staking started to accumulate much of TVL from ETH staking. And more of utilities were built upon the liquid staking tokens such as Maverick, Pendo, Agent Layer for restaking, for dedicated AMM for liquid staking, for interest trade, for indexes, and any of these utilities will come in appear. So we might thinking about, that's really the liquid staking track bootstrapping the TVL of DeFi. Is that the really thing happened in this year? If we compare to the different blockchains, Ethereum, Polkadot, and we can see maybe there is more potential for Polkadot to grow more application on the liquid staking. The permeability means the penetration of liquid staking takes account in the ecosystem. So for Ethereum, they have 37% of permeability of liquid staking, which takes account in the staking market cap 45 billion. For Bifrost, which hesitate in Polkadot, which has 99.3% of liquid staking takes account in Polkadot staking market cap, which means we have more potential space to catch up Ethereum. And if we compare to BSC, Cosmos Hub, Solana, and Avalanche, we might see there's more space that we can develop even further on the penetration of liquid staking to take the bootstrapping of DeFi TVL in Polkadot. So how does Bifrost can achieve that? How does Bifrost increase that as the penetration through XCM? We have to mention about what's the advantage that we taking from the XCM to bootstrap the V dot or any of this V token. What's the advantage of V tokens? Why other protocols would like to integrate it, and what utilities they might have in recently. So Moonbeam, we can easily deploy the SLPX contract in Moonbeam. I will explain you what is that later. And V dot can be used in any of the EMM DEXs in Moonbeam to use farming functions in Moonbeam DEXs. And Interlay deposit V dot as the vault collateral and use V dot in their land market for lending and borrowing. And HydroDX, which has the interesting collaboration with Bifrost for remotely treasury V dot minting, happened recently. So they also call SLPX palette in XCM way. Also, okay. For utilities, why we call it the liquidity gateway for Bifrost. So the standardization comes from XCM. The most incredible way of XCM is that it gives the standardization method for cross-chain message passing between power chain to power chain or power chain to relay chain. But for Bifrost, we can easily use this advantage to build the cross-chain liquid staking token between different power chains by using XCM. So liquid staking token of Bifrost is standardized. Decentralization, of course, we used automatically selection of validators and governance on validators sets selection. And liquidity aggregation means if you're the user on Moonbeam, you don't have to come to Bifrost, but you can easily swap your liquidity in a Bifrost liquidity. But you don't have to come to Bifrost. Is that interesting? Okay, I will introduce you that later in the logic part. And governance usage is that any of V token, especially for VDOL and VKSM, you can vote in the proposal of Kusama and Polkadot, remotely voting in relay chain. We provide the staking one's experience for users by using Bifrost app or any of SLPX contract that we deployed in the destination chain. And each V token can be also set as the gas fee on Bifrost. We named the SLPX module as the headquarter plus branches. If we take a look at the Bifrost, so Bifrost is the terminal which has the authority to mint V token and transact between different power chains. That's why we connect with the lines with bidirectional with Ethereum, Moonbeam, and Polkadot. The remote palette means the remotely calling of two blockchains that connects with two blockchains. The palette or the contract, they are actually using the same logic to leverage XCM to connect with Bifrost. For other LSDs, what is different with Bifrost that if you want to deploy the logic of liquid staking, so you have to deploy the contract, the same logic contract in every single blockchain. So copying each of them for each blockchain, so it's more complicated, but also the contract which has the authority to mint liquid staking token, right? But for Bifrost, only the terminal on Bifrost it has the authority to mint V token and the palette level, but the contract they don't have it. They don't have the authority. We name it a protocol to allow any chain to use any LSDs. So for external blockchains, on the left side, they connect with the bridge hub. So the asset can be easily transact to the bridge hub and then goes to Bifrost and goes to any of power chains that connect with Bifrost. So we bring out the concept why any chain to use any LSDs that any of the V token that Bifrost supported, like we support VEs, VMover, VGlimmer, VA star, VKSM, VDOT, all these different blockchains liquid staking token can be also used in any branches, any light contract that we deployed in the destination chain. Let's say if the destination chain is Ethereum. So in Ethereum user, they can use VA star, V Moonbeam on Ethereum, but they don't have to go to Polkadot ecosystem or Moonbeam A star ecosystem. How it works? Underlyingly, we're using the XCM v3 as the engine to make the things happen. On the left side, we take an example on Moonbeam to connect with Bifrost. So the Moonbeam user, the standard requires to mint V token on Moonbeam, not Bifrost. They require to mint V token on Moonbeam, and then it's that token to the SLP contract that we deployed on Moonbeam. The contract will work for step 2 and step 3 to send the XEM calling for SLPX palette that deployed on Bifrost, and the palette will call liquid staking minting to mint token to V token on Bifrost. So that's what I mentioned about the authority of V token minting is on Bifrost. After the V token minted, the SLPX contract palette will send the asset back to the user who requires to it. So that's the whole routine for the SLPX. And the XCM v3 helped us to query the result if the transaction is succeed or not, so which enhanced the security for the whole routine. Right now, we take an example for HydroDX. So I mentioned about they mint V dot via the treasury. So how they did it is that they playing the role as the treasury as the user to request to mint V token, and the request sent it from HydroDX palette parachain to via the XCM to Bifrost SLPX palette, so which is the transaction to remotely calling SLPX palette on Bifrost. And then after the V dot minted, SLPX palette will automatically send the token back to their treasury account on HydroDX. So with one transaction, remotely V dot minting was succeed. For the concept of SLPX, we mentioned about multiple assets can be minted on any of blockchains, and we mentioned about how HydroDX works with SLPX routine. So how does it work for more of the power chains and external blockchains? If you take a look on this logic, we start from Bifrost, the purple one on the left, which connect with power chains like A-Star, Moonbeam, HydroDX. There are some examples, and this is connect with XCM with a line with a bit directional, and every other V tokens that they can be minted on Bifrost. And Bridge Hub and Asset Hub is that also the power chain that will connect with Bifrost, so we can easily achieve external liquid staking token can be used in external blockchains. So for example, Ethereum, you can mint any of the Polkadot liquid staking token on Ethereum, but also you also can mint any of the external blockchains liquid staking token on Ethereum. If there's any of external bridge connect with Ethereum, so they can floss on the external way. But finally, what comes to Asset Hub or Bridge Hub and goes to Bifrost. So this is like the interaction between Bifrost, Bridge Hub, and external blockchain. So in conclusion, the SLPX contract can be deployed on any EVM or WASM ecosystem. So which means we enhanced any of this contract, any of this ecosystem, like they can easily supported any of the LSD that PowerChain supported or other blockchain supported. Bridge Hub will be utilized as the bridge, and all minted V token can be transferred to any other blockchains via the XCM. Okay, so that's the routine, that's the logic behind SLPX. If you want to learn more, you can go to check our documentation of Bifrost, and welcome to experience Bifrost app to operate any of the functions of Bifrost liquid staking, and Lupis will take you in depth of introduction how to demonstrate how to operate each of the functions on Bifrost and liquid staking. So thank you. Bye. but yeah, not done yet. And stay tuned.